What's up, everyone, to another video of Full Speed Impulse, and today we're going to be talking about the best mods for your Yfz450 and where you should start, or if you already have mods, what your next mods should be. So let's just get at it. Alright guys, so in the past years we actually owned two Yfz450s and we built them up from the ground up, and we started with small mods, working our way up. This one right here is our 07 Yfz450. Completely done up. We're going to give you guys a quick rundown here. We have a stroker crank with a big bore, making it a 500cc, ported head. We have the carb board out to a 42 mil. We also have the TPS sensor delete on this. We have a GYTR rev box, which spices up the tuning a little bit, the ignition, and bumps it up, I think, 750 RPM. Nice, tasteful, nothing too crazy. And we also have full curved sparks exhaust, which we just actually put on for our last trip. We had a DASA exhaust on there, which was also equally awesome. The pipe was just a little bit old and it was time to replace it. We have the FCI air intake on this with an open airbox because we only run this thing on the dunes now or in dry areas that we don't need the full airbox. We have old school AC Nerf bars. Nerf bars are like your first go-to when you get a quad, guys. It's just a great thing to keep you from, if you're jumping or anything like that, your feet don't slip out the pegs, and then your bike ends up breaking your legs. It's a no bueno thing. We have long travel suspension on here with exit A-arms and front shocks. These shocks are awesome, great performing, triple rate springs. We have the GYTR front bullhorn bumper, also great. I love the GYTR stuff. Got those hyper bead locks for our sand paddles. Got the X's on there because we actually need to do the seals on this wheel here. We got the Bling Star chain sprocket protector on the rear. Just your standard old Pro Elite grab bar, which, nope, almost thought I need to tighten that up. We got the old Peps rear shock on here with the big old reservoir mounted up there. This is aftermarket plastic. You see the fenders do come off. Can't remember the brand name of the plastic, guys. I do apologize for that. And this quad here, we actually took it all the way down to the frame, had it powder coated and all that good stuff. Got the IMS shifter on there because our stock one finally gave out on us. Still a stock seat cover though. It's in really good shape, and I kind of just like keeping it. It just kind of keeps it. I like the stock seat cover. I think it looks good, and we haven't had any issues, so we've kept that on there. These are also, far as I know, this year of quad and model came with the Pro Taper handlebars, I believe. If not, those have been on there since we bought it. The quad was bone stock when we got it, and we've done all the mods to it. Stock radiator hoses. I am a firm believer, guys, even with all those fancy radiator hoses out there, nothing's better than stock radiator hoses. I definitely believe in that. I think they last the longest, and they're just your best bet. And we have stage 2 hot cams in the motor also, and it just complements this thing. And we are running this on 110 oxygenated fuel, and I'm telling you, this thing is an animal. We actually need to change the gearing. It's got stock gearing in it. And on the dunes, we were 5th gear peg before we were even halfway down the strip. The thing just rips. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I got a bone stock Yfz450. I'm just looking for a little bit more power. I know what you need. First things you could do to these bikes to get them to really open up and get that really good power is just doing a nice full exhaust, open up that airbox, pull the lid off. You can still leave the whole airbox in there, so it's still, you know, going to get some resistance from water and all that. Open up the airbox. If you want, you could put a K&N air filter or a filter that resembles the K&N. But if you're going to do that, make sure you put an outerwear. And the reason why I do like those is because the outerwears help repel water. So if you do go through like a big puddle and all that, we've had no issues when we used to go down to like the Badlands and kind of bogging her deep a little bit sometimes. I had no issues as long as I had that outerwear on there. Your rev box is also a good little upgrade. Completely necessary right off the bat? No, but it's just a nice, those are like the 3 things that are going to complement. Obviously, with jetting, with those mods there, your jetting is going to be somewhere around running a 48 Pilot with a 178 main, depending on your elevation and temperature, all that. It could vary, and also what fuel type you're running. Past that, your next upgrade is going to be throwing a high compression piston in there. Another great way just to add a little bit more power And again, you run that, then you can run to a more of higher octane. I would say, don't go for the big dog. I know I ran a 14-1 high compression piston in mine, and it was awesome, but you always have to run race fuel when you run a compression like that. Now, some people, I don't know what the right answer is, to be honest with you guys, when it comes down to it. Some people will say 13-5, you can still run pump gas. I don't know about that. I've always been told 13-1 is your safe measure of a nice high compression piston, but still run pump gas, or you can run race fuel. But obviously, whatever one you're going to run, you need to jet your quad for, because your higher octanes actually burn slower, which is going to cause your quad to run richer if you have it jetted for a 93 octane and if you were to splash like some 110 octane in there. So me saying that one more time, if your quad was jetted for 93 and you have it completely dialed in and you throw 110 in there instead, you may not notice the difference, but it is going to be running a little bit richer. And depending on then, you go to different elevations, different temperatures and all that, you're probably just not going to get the horsepower gains. I know everyone always likes to beat you up on that. Like, you're not getting any more horsepower running higher octane. Like, first you got to jet to it. And yeah, having the high compression piston is definitely going to help. But, we know why you like to run that 110, because she just smells so good. And then it comes down to the nitty gritty, guys. It comes down to those big boy mods, you know what I mean? Doing the big bore, the crank, boring out that carb, or just running a bigger carb. We are still running on that carburetor, guys, and she fires right up. Throttle response is all there. Just got to know how to get them dialed in, and you're good to go. I know you got those Electron carbs out now, the fuel injected ones, and then you have that, there's one other brand out there that's kind of competing with them, but I don't know. I started looking into them, but it's like, man, it's like $800 for a carb, if not more. Like, and then it's like, there's so many more things that could fail. Like, you don't realize probably like the sensors and all that stuff that are in that stuff, that if it were to get clogged with dirt or anything like that, then she's going to start acting up. And it's not like a carburetor where you can take that apart when you're on your trip and clean out a couple jets, plug her back in. She's going to fire up and run for you, right? Because it's a simple setup, guys. So that's your mods as performance. But I personally, and it's a big jump in price here, guys, after you do a couple of those tasteful mods at the beginning, like I said, I would highly invest in investing in suspension. And try not, to your best of your abilities, everyone's got their own budget and their own price. I get it. But try not to cheap out on suspension. Like, if you try to get like that mediocre Elka shock, not saying Elka like as far as like, but you try getting that stage 1 Elka shock or that Fox float, just because you want a Fox float, but you buy the cheapest ones possible, and you're probably not going to notice much of a difference in suspension. It's really disappointing. I've been there, guys. Like, I redid a whole quad, and I even did the long travel, and then I put Fox floats on it. And I was like, oh, I got Fox floats. But they weren't like the high-end race ones. And the quad didn't even ride that great. I mean, it didn't ride bad, but I tell you right now, with this setup on this thing now, it rides awesome. And I mean, I'm on the dunes going through whoop sections and big rollers, 5th gear, pin, and she's just eating it, dude. I mean, it just gets it. And I'm more of a dirt bike person, but I do like messing around with the quads a little bit. But I tell you, this is what, it's enjoyable. Riding a stock 450 with no suspension work beats you up hard. It really does. And it really, if you're a dirt bike guy, it's even more annoying because you could jump on a stock dirt bike and rip it, and the suspension ain't going to kill you. A couple other mods you guys might notice here on our handlebars. We have also the GYTR kill switch, and then we removed all that shenanigans of your big start button with the light switch and all that stuff, and we just put a nice little push button here. So that's all you have to do is turn the key, push that little button. It's just a kill switch. That's actually all that button is. It's a kill switch, but it actually starts the quad. And then over here, one of my favorite mods I'll tell anyone to do, because I remember my Yamaha thumb throttle, and it sucked. It felt like you had to like start all the way out here, just like start throwing the throttle, and you'd be like this. And by the time I'd be like several laps in, like my thumb would be cooked. You know what that is right there? That's a Honda thumb throttle from a 400, I believe. And the Honda 400 thumb throttles and probably the 450s, I want to say, have a shorter throw to them, and they're just way more enjoyable. So like there, I'm gonna flood this thing. You get there and boop, done. while the Yamaha is like way out here, and you're like, it's like, that's annoying. Like all you want to do is like floor it, you know what I mean? And that is a stock swing arm. We are running the G-Force axle here, which has been nothing but great to us. We ran 2 of these, one on the other quad, one on this one. We are not big jumpers with the quad. Just telling you guys that right now. So I can't like tell you guys that G-Force axles are super awesome and they're better than the Lone Stars and whatever else, you know, axles they have out now. But as far as what I've ever read in reviews, I've always read great things about the G-Force axles. And I guess I just give you guys a sneak peek under here. I've already told you guys what was under here, but there you go. There's our Airbox with our air intake, a little sandy still. And then this here was actually that vent tube that comes from your crankcase that plugs into your stock Airbox. When you remove your Airbox, you got to really kind of do something with that. And we didn't want sand getting into that. You can see, look at all the sand. That would have went right in our motor. That would have been no bueno. But other than that, guys, I don't know. I feel like I didn't even like list that many mods, but I mean, she is. We got the little safety brake or whatever you want to call it, block off. Got that on there. But I think that's about it. And talk a little bit more about exhaust. You guys can watch in my previous video. I did a DASA, whatever it's called, exhaust versus Curtis Sparks. So you can hear both those and see which one you like. I like both the exhausts. Like I said, my DASA was just cooked. So, and I was in a pinch, and Curtis Sparks was able to get one to us quick enough. And I really do like the way these Curtis Sparks sound. And I love the way they look. And some people on the forums beat them up a little bit, saying like, oh, they're a little too retro looking. The DASA's more modern looking. But I was like, dude, this thing's an 07. Like, this thing's 18 years old. This thing is an antique. You know what I mean? As far as your clutch plates in here, I've always been a firm believer, guys, run OEM. On the Yamahas, at least, run OEM. Don't get sucked in to that Hinson clutch stuff and all that. I've always had really good luck just running good stock clutches. And I haven't replaced that in probably a while. So, well, I have now, because when we bought the big bore kit, it came with clutch plates and all that stuff. So that is now replaced. I should say that. And when my buddy actually redid the motor for us, I mean, we went through all the bearings and all that, because we had the bearings end up getting cooked on the crank, and we were putting sheen through the oil, and the motor just was not happy. It wouldn't run anymore. That's how unhappy it was. Oh, and you got your guys' stabilizer up here, which, I don't know, when I did some of these mods, it was just like, I was stuck with guys that race quads and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I need to do that mod. I need this. Did I need a stabilizer? Probably not, but they are kind of nice. Like, I guess I don't even have a stabilizer on the Yfz450. And so I don't even notice any discomfort on the handlebars, but I'm also running the dunes and not running through tight woods and hitting, you know, rocks and all that. So maybe I don't even need that on there. But that's like your standard. I don't know, when I bought that, it was like 60 bucks. I don't know what they are now. They're probably like 80 bucks. I don't know. But that's like your standard setup, and that's all you really need for your stabilizer. And then this one here does still have the stock steering stem. I know that sometimes people end up bending those when they wreck them, and sometimes people like to go for the extended. But I, again, am happy on how I sit on this quad, and she's just good, guys. So let's just do a quick fire up. I did already drain all the fuel out of the tank, so the only fuel we have left in this thing is in the carb bowl. So I'll see if she even starts. And that noise right there, guys, whenever you come across that, that is your relay going bad. Now, first things you would want to check is check like your battery, make sure everything's tight and all that. But after that, it's that relay right back here. I'll point it out to you guys. It's this guy right here. That's what you want to replace. she's tough. And then as far as tires go, guys, as you see, we got sand pedals on right now. That would be a whole nother topic that we would get into, that we still need to experiment with some different paddles. But as far as dirt tires and all that, that's going to depend on if you're riding track, if you're riding woods. If you're riding track, you're going to end up with some 18s in the rear, and you're going to end up with some 20s in the front. While these here are 20s in the rear and 21s in the front. So, or maybe it's 19s in the front. I don't know. I don't race it on the track. So, but besides that, if you are a woods rider and all that, as far as the Maxxis brand, I would recommend heavily on getting Razor 2s. And this is another road we've been down, guys, because we bought Razor 1s one time for our quad, and you know, we ride them down the road too. We do all types of shenanigans, and it's like they only come with so much tread. And once they're like worn just a little bit, it's like there's not even that much tread left on the tire. You're kind of like, man, I just spent all this money. Like, you should have just spent a little bit more, and you should have got the Razor 2s. I'm telling you. And you won't, if you're doing woods riding and stuff like that, you will not be happy with the Razor 2s. They come with so much tread on them. It's ridiculous. And for people that would more goofing, that just want to slide around a little bit more on turns than I will say the Razor 2s, they grip it. So you definitely got to work that quad if you want to kick her sideways. But she is going to have all that grip for you, which is nice. And as the tire wears, even when they're half worn, they have just as much tread as the original Razor tire that's brand new. So just think about that. I remember when I was looking a while ago, the price difference wasn't crazy. It was definitely, now knowing, if you guys know this information now, it'd be like, yeah, definitely buy the Razor 2s, because the last thing I want to do is run these tires, because everything's expensive, is run these tires for a year and they're cooked. And now I got to buy new tires next year. Maybe wear them down a little bit, and then they're your Razor 1s that you want in the first place. Now you just got double the amount of life out of them. You know what I mean? And just to like tell you guys the jetting that we're running, I honestly can't. We're running like a 205 main with a 58 or 60 something Pilot. It's either a high 50 or it's a low 60. But that's on oxygenated fuel, which I'm actually going to be doing a video on oxygenated fuel, and we're going to do a test if it actually does make your bike faster. Now, we're not going to do it on a full wheel here because that'd be tough, because it just run out of gearing and we'd get the same results, right? But we're going to do it on a bike. We're going to do it on one of our older dirt bikes. It's a little CT70. I know. But she hits about 35 miles an hour. I want to know, if I drain that fuel out, we put some oxygenated stuff in there, can we get it to go a little bit faster? So we're going to be doing a video on that, guys. Should just be a fun little video to goof around on. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. Let's get the comments going, guys. And let's see what you guys run on setups and what you guys like, what exhausts. But just jumping back real quick to the exhaust, DASA and Curtis are like one of your top horsepower gain pipes. So I would personally, sorry guys, I would stay away from FMF. Nice pipe. I like my FMF pipe. Ran them on my Yfz450, but I ran one on my YFZ too, and they're a little quieter and all that, and so they're definitely a nice hush for the woods. But the power, it's not the same as a Curtis Sparks or DASA. I'll tell you that right now. Like, you will not be disappointed with one of these pipes here. So that's about what I got for this video, guys. Without getting into too much more detail and starting to pick through exhausts and all that stuff and everything else and suspension, that's our Yfz450, and that's what I think you guys should do for mods and all that. I appreciate you guys. Hit us up in the comments. We'll see what you guys got going on. See what you guys got building, and I'd love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.